Lovely, and this is the Lovely Life. In today's video, I would love to share my own personal story of how I became a spiritual medium or a psychic medium to say so. And why I have to share this or why someone has to know how to do that. For the fact that until few years back, I used to think that for being a spiritual medium or doing this professionally, you have to be gifted or you have to be born with your filters blown. You have to have that gift of being able to speak to the spirits or having the connection from the spirit realm. But frankly speaking, for me it took a long time to realize that none of that is important. I was never a child who was gifted to say so. I never had an imaginary friend. Only thing I always remember that I was a curious child and I was super interested in things like listening to ghost stories or playing with my friends with the Ouija board or watching these paranormal series on the television. So I was always interested in these things. And as I became a teenager, thankfully there was internet. So all I could do to know more was to explore. So I had this phone when I was in college, and I used to find these blogs or watch these videos on everything spiritual. At that time, I didn't know that these things were called spiritual. I used to think that I am maybe fascinated by the paranormal. So I used to browse for hours and hours, and I used to be almost mesmerized on the fact that how these mediums or channelers do this. It was something that was I could never wrap my head around it, but I found it magical. And I always thought, what if I could do that? But never in my dreams I have thought that, yeah, maybe someday I would become a spiritual medium or a psychic medium. Seriously, I had never thought that. I used to think that it'll be so cool to talk to dead people. That's how I used to think. But so things started growing more when I was following Teal Swan, and she used to put these amazing life coaching videos. So one of her videos was about automatic writing, and at that point of time, I had already read a lot about automatic writing. And even when I was in college, we used to talk, oh, there is something called automatic writing, and the pen moves on its own, and but I used to find it like, woo woo stuff. But Teal Swan explained a process. So I thought, why not give it a try? So I, frankly, I never followed a specific process. I tried it with my own comfort, but yes, I tried it. And trust me, it needs a hell lot of patience. It took a really long time for me to even come to a point where I would think that I should be continuing this, because for months and months I was just scribbling stuff. And there used to be days where I used to feel that no more writing, because this is just madness. And it's easy when, things don't start. Uh, you almost feel that maybe that you're crazy. Why are you doing it in the first place? But then slowly, I started getting messages. And initially, they were just words which became legible to me, which became, I could read them on my journal in between the scribbling, in between all the, lines. So, after like months of uh, a lot of patience and stopping and then continuing to write and then stopping and doing it again, I finally wrote a name, which I came to know that it was the name of my guide. But I didn't know that until I took a reading with a spiritual medium. So that's how I came to know that it was my guide's name. So this is how the real journey begins. Then I started writing more and more, and I used to get sentences. And as I trusted more, and I was obviously fascinated by these words coming up, it was beautiful. So as I trusted more words and then sentences, more legible conversation started happening. And I could actually get answers for the questions I would ask, or if I write a question, I would get clear answers. And trust me, automatic writing is my strongest gift until now. Even now, when I do it like professionally for a client, that's one thing, that automatic writing, that's one thing that I go to if I have a doubt, if I have to get a very clear message, for example, a date or a name, or things like if I need like proper written stuff. So that's my strongest gift until now. I'm actually feeling goosebumpish because I still feel it's surreal to be doing this, making this video about being a spiritual medium, because I seriously find it a blessing. So that's how my journey began. Then I started writing these unknown scripts, which I could not understand, but I used to write like pages and pages of these on these sessions where I just used to sit to write, which later on I came to know from another medium who is a very dear friend. She told me that what I was doing, I was channeling, and I was channeling light language. So that was another revelation which changed my path. So about light language, I would love to make another video about what is light language and what it does. All I can say now here to keep it short is that it is a language for the soul. It is meant for your heart. So it is not understandable by your human mind. But trust me, it brings a lot of healing. It brings immense healing for everybody who listens to it. So that is something that I still do. I do light language channeling now as well, and I also offer that to my clients who take a reading from me. So that's how it started. And as the days passed, I used to follow this very famous blog called Channeling Erik, which has been instrumental in my spiritual growth. And now I've found these beautiful friends in the group. I have no words to tell how Erik, who is my guide, he has helped me grow as, in terms of spiritual, in terms of my gifts, or as a person in general. You know, he taught me how to listen. So the second thing that I discovered that I had it in me was clear audience or clear hearing. I could hear spirits. And trust me, I have to clarify this, that this is not something uh, only special people can do. No, it's just not that. It's just that you have to, have that in your path, whatever you're meant to do in this life. And secondly, you have to have someone to guide you. And yes, you have to trust in those things. Trust and belief plays an important role. So I started hearing things. So clairaudience works in a different way. I mean, I don't hear things, I don't hear spirits or messages from spirits like you would be hearing my voice now. So I don't hear it from my outer ear, I hear it inside my head, like almost like my own thoughts. That's how it works. Then I discovered that I have more gifts. As I became more sensitive to energy, I became more aware of my body. I realized that I have more gifts, which all I needed to do is just feel. So, right now, what I do, how I channel these messages is the first one through automatic writing, secondly, clairaudience, thirdly, clairvoyance. So I see visuals and pictures with these messages, which I have to figure out what exactly they mean. And sometimes it makes sense later on when I'm talking to the client, but they are beautiful. So clairvoyance can be into different types. Like there are people who can see spirits like real people like you and me outside of them. I don't do that as of now, although it's something that I would love to do in future. Let's see. So I get visual messages, and more than that, there are two more ways where through which I receive these messages. That is, I'm clairsentient and claircognizant also. That is, I can feel spirits around me, I can feel spirits around my body, I can sense them. And also claircognizant, that is, I sometimes just know the answer to a question. It's actually not my knowing, it's just that I'm channeling it through the spirit realm or a intergalactic guide or anybody from the light. So that's how I do channeling, and that's how I do what I do. So I'm almost out of breath because I'm feeling so much joy sharing this story here. This video was something that I wanted to do since long, but I couldn't get time because I also do a day job. So here I am. Why I wanted to share this is because just like how I thought that it is impossible to do these things or do this as a profession, do it for a living, it's just not true. All you need to do is trust your gifts and just learn more. you know and now thankfully we have internet, we can browse, and there are these groups on Facebook and other places, and you never know, you might end up finding a very good friend as well. So that's how my story goes. I would soon be making a video on how to do automatic writing, and also about how I speak in light language and how I figured that out, that what I was doing. So if you like my videos, do press the subscribe button and do like my video. Thank you so much for watching. Bye bye.